set in 7 years. You can tell they really went out of their way to design the cover of the box to make it look as close to the canister as possible. Can't really do canisters anymore because those were too expensive, but they tried. It's open. Oh. Oh, I really don't want to hurt the box too much. Oh, it's... Okay, it's not supposed to open like that. Oh yeah, and look, there's a little pose on the back that references their references a scene from Mask of Light. Very cool. Oh, cool. They redid the old promotional render, but with the new figures. With Matsunui and the Makuta mask in the background. Oh, there's a little thing to read in here. In 2001, the LEGO Group introduced a new theme that would become a global sensation. The story of mighty heroes with elemental powers took the world by storm and inspired comics, novels, and 4 movies. Now 2 of the most popular characters, Tahu and Takua, return in the form of this exclusive set in System Bricks. This special set is not only a tribute to the Bionicle heroes, it's a thank you to the legions of fans who have kept the spirit of Bionicle alive for more than 20 years. It's the passion and creativity of the fans of all ages that ensure the legends of the Toa will always live on. Greg Firsty. And they have all of the little story scenes from 2001 on the bottom. That's awesome. Okay, here's where the actual instructions start. Oh, we're building this first. haven't built a Bionicle set in 7 years, but it's been even longer since I've built anything with normal Lego bricks. Oh yeah, there it is. These are here for now. Here's the Matanui stone. Need little gray pieces. There we go. One, two. Three. Four. And there's the Makuta stone. It's the little sand pit that the Turaga told their story is on. That's such a cute little thing to include. Oh, we're building Takua now. Awesome. Yeah, this is the gift with Furtis. I just got mine. I just got this in the mail today, and I could not wait. Anytime Lego gives me new official Bionicle content, I do anything that I can to get it in my hands as fast as possible. The mask is a print. Both of them are. Oh, there's a bot in the chat. Get out of here. Block. Here we go. Yeah, both of the masks being prints is effort that I honestly wouldn't have expected from something like this. I don't know a lot about how GWPs usually work, but I know that they're usually not, like, they're usually just re-releases of old sets, but since they don't have the old Bionicle parts anymore, I guess they were like, hey, let's just go all out, since we have to make a new set anyway. Yeah, honestly, I'm very lucky that my friend, my very close friend, whichever coma on Twitter, he's into way more Lego stuff than I am. So he actually helped me get my hands on this. He bought a bunch of Legos on the site and we split the price, and then he just sent this to me when he got it in the mail. So I'm very grateful for that. Oh no. I put a piece on in the wrong order. There we go. Need a red 3x2. There it is. See, as someone who hasn't built a Bionicle set in a little bit and a proper Lego system set in forever, I think seeing this integration of the Technic pieces and the brick pieces is super cool. I didn't know they did this. These are really good, like, miniature recreations of the Mictoran feat. I think the little Technic pinholes in the back really sell that. Oh yeah, this is the part where we build the backpack. I'm glad the Monog music is playing as I'm building Takua. Oh yeah, for sure, definitely. And make sure this is something that you get to experience for yourself. This is super special. Thanks for dropping by. Always nice to see other Bionicle fans on the internet. Go at the top there. Yeah. Oh, that's so cute how it goes and how it attaches like that. Yeah, okay, I guess I have a little nitpick with the Takua build right now. I kind of wish... I mean, I don't know if they make pieces like that, actually. So I don't know if I'm qualified to complain, but I wish this piece was the same way on this side that it is on this side, so that you could just put another little stud piece in and then move the hand around a little bit. Because as it is, there is no hand swivel articulation for this, which is fine. It just would have been nice. Because to hold the disc, one hand is always gonna be in a different position than the other one, and that's always gonna bug me a little bit. Oh, yeah, this is the piece they used for the Varian stock. That's cool. Yeah! I'm playing appropriate music. Here we go. If I was a kid, I would have just started putting these pieces together as I found them, but getting into Gunpla to fill the void in my heart that in absence of Bionicle left taught me to gather all of the pieces first before you start putting them together. Because throwing pieces together haphazardly when you're building Gunpla can screw you over. Pretty bad. There's his face. No mask. No mask yet. Oh, I love the way that snaps on. I love these little joints that they use. They're like the little miniature versions of the old Technic ball and socket joints. I think I have memories of getting stuck in, yeah, I don't know if I was necessarily stuck, but I remember coming out of the tunnel into Liwahi and not being able to figure out what to do for a bit. It's been a while since I've played Monog. I usually just go back and watch the cutscenes now, so I don't know how insane getting stuck at Liwahi is, but I remember that happening to me. And there's the mask. Takua's Pikari. Pretty sure that's what the Kanohi is. There he is, the little guy's done. He's got his backpack and everything. This is so cute. I love this Matoran build. Doesn't use a lot of pieces, it's super cute. It has more articulation than the original ones did. His head has like a full degree of movement. An awesome little detail. Awesome little detail that I noticed they didn't include until a little farther in to the set's development. The brainstalk piece in the back matches the color of the eyes on the mask print. Love that. Okay. Oh, okay, this is for the stand. I was wondering what this other one was for. No, yeah, I will agree that old Technic, no, yeah. I love the aesthetic of the old Technic pieces a whole lot. But as for how Bionicle could look with the normal Lego system pieces, I think this GWP knocks it out of the park. Maybe I'll feel differently when I'm done building Tahu, but I love how Takua looks. I also think a lot of consumers and Lego fans would probably find Bionicle with bricks in this specific with this specific execution a lot more appealing. Not to say that I ever agreed with the statement that the old like Bionicle Technic system wasn't Lego or anything like that, but I definitely think doing it this way would be a lot more palatable for people. I really would like for them to try another crack at Bionicle with this system. Honestly, I don't think you could screw it up on a business end harder than you screwed up G2, so they may as well try again. Oh, my favorite wave back in the day was I love the Toa Metro, but I really like the Bionicle. The Bionicle will probably always be my favorite because that was the one year where I actually got every single Toa. Also, I've always really liked the Ignition trilogy as an arc, just because I thought seeing this song's clown music, it always makes me laugh. It's so good. I always love the element of the Ignition trilogy that was these characters, these side characters that you've known since the beginning, like they're the focus now. And now we get to see them be Toa and try to do all that. I always thought that was the coolest. Yeah, honestly, I oh really? Is that you might know some behind the scenes stuff that I don't know, because I always got the impression that Greg just very naturally moved to the position of head writer at some point, but was it because of like an issue or something? Like did the writers at the beginning like leave or so all of a sudden or something? Oh, do you mean the fact that like oh, incarnation? Oh yeah, the whole Makuta being the name of a race instead of an individual thing. Yeah, I've heard a lot of I've heard a lot of people have mixed feelings about that. Honestly, I got into Bionicle with the 2004 story. Nuju was my first set, and then I worked backwards from there, so I guess I don't really I didn't really have a set in stone idea of what Makuta was supposed to be. because I got into it a little later than a lot of other people did, I think. Oh, yeah, I mean, I know about that. I know about names getting changed, like Jala becoming Jaller, and how Matoran were called something else. I think the techno tribal aesthetic is super cool. I don't really think anything hits with the same kind of feel and aesthetic as Bionicle. I think Xenoblade, I think the first Xenoblade Chronicles gets kind of close with its ideas and like just plot like concepts and stuff. But in terms of the aesthetic, I don't really think anything has ever done it quite like Bionicle. Hell, but Bionicle hasn't even really done it like Bionicle since then. G2 went for a completely different feel and aesthetic. Not that being different is inherently a bad thing, but yeah. Yeah. The Paraka rap is just kind of something that I think about and laugh at nowadays. It's just kind of funny. I was always super down for the All American Rejects being in that one Nike commercial, though. I thought that was super cool when I was younger. I still really like that song. Oh yeah, I love the song. I was wondering when this was gonna play. Yeah, that one's pretty funny. Oh yeah, is this the song that plays during the Lee Koro like dancing scene? I think that's right. I seem to be missing a piece. Oh well, it's not integral. Maybe I'll find it later. Oh yeah, even musically, that that, like, feel isn't really in a lot of places. I didn't really mind the shift to, like, a more general rock feel later on that much, though. Like, I always thought it was super cool that, an entire band got made, for the purpose of making music for Bionicle at first. I think Cryo Shell is pretty neat. I'm not gonna claim that I've listened to all of their songs or like all of their songs, but I think Cryo Shell was neat. Oh yeah, no, I don't think anything is ever gonna replicate that feeling of, you know, being with a story for that long and getting to go through all of those twists and turns like that. Like at the end of the 2008 story with the whole twist of the Great Spirit robot waking up, and then turns out this is Makuda's plan the whole time, and he actually won and controls the universe now. That, I was like, I remember reading that comic and going, like, what do you mean I have to wait, like, 2 months to like, figure out what happened? And if you were the kind of person that read all of the extra, like, serials on BionicleStory.com, it was even more grueling, because you just got to see all of the awful things that were going on. Sometimes it might have gotten a little bit too grim, but, you know, I don't really, it was fine. I never felt like it became a huge problem or anything. Oh yeah, I have no idea. The thing that always got me about that twist was how they kept it secret for so long while also dropping hints about it so often. Because with context, now that we know the twist, it's like you can't really go back and think about old story moments without going, well, how does this even, like, make sense? You know, like Metro Nui being an underground city, and then, like, all of these other underground places that were just under Matanui this whole time. Like, how does this work? And even back in Monog in 2001, you have the foreshadowing with the Matoran reaching a level of like bedrock that they can't dig through, you know, and they're like, we don't even, like, we can't tell what it's made out of, but it's so hard that we can't dig through it. And it's like, it's nuts that was the robot the whole time. It was just in front of everyone like that. Yeah. Now that I've gotten into more, like, growing up, I never really thought about it too hard, but now that I'm older, now that I'm a lot older and I've consumed more media that uses Destiny as a plot point and, like, Fate and stuff like that, yeah, the way that Destiny is used in Bionicle kind of starts to bother me after a while. It's not really a big deal because I try not to think about it too hard, but I definitely feel like that was an aspect that could have been handled a little better, or like pivoted in a way to handle it differently later on to kind of go along with the shift in tone. Because in the Barra Magna stuff in 2009, they go into the fact that Matanui was he wasn't as responsible as he should have been, and he was naive and like overly confident, and I felt like approaching the idea of destiny with that level of awareness at some point in the story would have been cool, but they didn't really do that. Oh yeah, I think a G1 reboot. Honestly, the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, and I mean, I don't know, I guess Transformers isn't the best example because, like, I still think Transformers itself as a toy line is still doing well, but I know Hasbro is not in a very good financial position right now. But I've always wondered why Bionicle couldn't have just been Lego's Transformers, you know, where like you just bring it back, like an iteration ends and then you bring it back, and you know, you handle some things differently, but at its core it's usually still the same thing. I know for sure. I definitely think that like when you start really thinking about it, Makuta Makuta Pterodax being a member of a group of people that worked for Matanui and the Great Spirit instead of being like his equal, like the original like story arc kind of presented him as, kind of it kind of screws with it a little bit. And we get to open the second bag now. Did we run out of music? Oh no, we didn't. Now you see, I think that idea with Trencrom is interesting. I was always a pretty big fan of I forget his name, but the great spirit, or not the great being that put his mind into a Matoran body. I don't remember his name, but I remember actually being really excited for the plot line that they Velika, yeah. I always thought that plot line that they started at the very end and didn't get to finish with the Velika, where he starts his big master plan to get rid of all of the powerful figures from the Matoran universe to try and like rule Barra Magna again. I always thought that was super cool, and I wanted to see where that was going. And I remember being super sad when when Greg said that he wasn't going to be able to update the story anymore. Yeah, Kitangu was kinda... I honestly don't remember them using him a whole awful lot outside of 05. Maybe there were some serials that I didn't read or some books that I don't remember very clearly, but I don't really recall them using Kitangu that much outside of the 05 story, which is strange because they seem to describe him as like a very mythical, like powerful kind of being. Ah, okay. Did we ever find out, like, what Kitangu's purpose was supposed to be at the, because, like, I know at a certain point we got backstory for a lot of characters where it's like, hey, this is why they exist, this was their original purpose for maintaining the Matoran universe. Did we ever get that for Kitangu? Or was he just always this kind of, like, weird mythical, cure maker guy? Ah, okay. Time for the lava board. Yeah. Yeah, well, what wasn't 2005 kind of, wasn't the arc in 2005 kind of slapped together for whatever reason? I seem to recall hearing that from someone at some point. I mean, hey, I always thought them turning into weird mutated, like, Rahi Toa hybrids was, like, actually kind of cool. But I think a lot of things about that, you know, the thing about that arc that screams the most, like, we slapped this together for whatever reason, is the fact that the third Bionicle movie literally takes place, like, in the middle of the second movie's ending. Like 3 minutes before the credits for 2 hit is when 3 happens. I always thought that was funny. I mean, I think the only thing that I would call fetish bait about that arc is, the fact that, Rudaka has, like, big Rakshi faceplate, parts on her chest. I don't think so. I don't think I've seen that. That's a lot more on the nose than I thought it would be. Yeah, maybe? You won't get any, complaints from me, so go ahead and try if you wanna show me what you're talking about. If it doesn't work, then I'll change a setting or something. Yeah, I mean, hey, I can't judge. I have no moral high ground here. Oh, Miramax is owned by Disney now? Is that why they didn't... Did that happen in, like, the time between Web of Shadows and, A Legend Reborn? Is that why they didn't get them back? Goes there. There we go. Stand's done. That's a very nice looking stand. Time for Tahu. Oh, there it is. Oh, so they were always owned by... They were already owned by Disney back then. Okay. Strange. Yeah, I always wished that they got Miramax back for the 4th movie, because I prefer the aesthetics for that original trilogy way more than Legend Reborn just looking like the toys. The way that the characters looked in the Miramax movies is always how I imagined them looking, like if they were real creatures that existed. They modded RE8 to replace Lady Dimitrescu with Rudaka. I can't say I'm surprised that somebody had the idea to do that, but I'm surprised that somebody actually went through the effort and had the dedication to do that. No. See, I was super into the fleshy parts because I mean, you know, they were always supposed to be made of, like, biological and mechanical components. So I always thought getting to see those organic components was super cool. Maybe not very practical for where they're positioned in some of those designs, but I thought getting to see them was cool. Like, I always thought it was super, like, cool, but also gross. Like, I always thought it was gnarly that you saw, like, the muscle, like the way that in the Miramax movies for the Matoran, you would see the muscle, like, wrapped around the ball joint that connects their upper arm with their, like, with their chest. I always thought that was cool in like a gross kind of way. I think the Metro Nui movie is definitely did a better job at that kind of I think the Metro Nui movies probably did a good job at addressing that problem that you had, because those movies have the designs be a lot closer to how the toys look in terms of like the shapes of the body parts. Yeah, no, yeah, it definitely worked if they did do that. Oh, oh God. His muscles expanded and cracked his armor, Lord. There's probably a lot from the books that I don't remember. A lot of morbid descriptions. The one morbid description that I will always remember, however, is the description from the whatever the serial was called, where Takanuva went to that alternate universe where the Toa were like where like Metro Nui was basically a police state, and the Toa were the police. I remember, yeah, yes, yeah. To yet getting like cut in half by the dimensional portal. The Olmec, that was the name of that mask, right? The Mask of Dimensional Gates, or whatever. Yeah, that's basically what Greg did. I forget, didn't that only happen because the Olmec got like damaged or something? Kraka. I remember Kreka. I don't know if the name Kraka is Oh right, that thing. That was in the Metro Nui arc, right? I think I remember them fighting that thing in a book or something. I remember the model for that Rahi that you could build having like a million arms with all of the Toa Metru's like weapons and stuff on them. The Shadow Realm? that is either. What the... You know, now that you mention it, I remember there being a lot of, like, weirdly, specifically OP powers like that in Bionicle that some characters, or even, like, Rahi had for just, like, no reason. Wasn't there a story serial where Greg basically made the Bionicle version of the Suicide Squad or something? That's goofy. Yeah, the only thing I remember about that thing is that I'm pretty sure Rudaka and Vizon were in that team. I think. Yeah. The two with the Baraki. Yeah, I always wondered if they did anything worthwhile with Rudaka by bringing her back. I'm pretty sure the story serial with Takanuva going to the alternate dimension and a couple of the ones from after Makuta took over the universe are like the only ones that I read until the story ended, and then the plot with Veselik was the only plot that I could keep up with until that ended too. Gymnastic cat girl. Yeah, I can't say I remember who that is either. Lariska. Oh, here's the voodoo ball. I see. This ball piece being called still being called the voodoo ball by everyone in the Bionicle community screws with me, because then I'm forced to remember the original like pitch idea for what Bionicle was going to be, which is just like it was pretty bad. That original idea was pretty bad, and I'm really glad they didn't go with that. I remember being a little disappointed with Bar Magna just because it was a brand new place with brand new characters and concepts, and you know, after that twist, I was like, I don't know, I was finding it really hard to get attached to all of these new characters and locations on this planet when I was worrying so hard about the characters that I knew about already. I mean, I think it's very brave. I think it requires a lot of bravery and massive, massive bearings to pull that. You know, to have a twist that big, and then to be like, okay, completely new location now. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't turn me off a little bit at first. Yeah, well, when it comes down to it, I think Bionicle's I think the way that Bionicle's ending was handled was messy, but I don't necessarily think that that's completely the fault of Greg and the rest of the team. I'm sure by the time they were at the I'm sure by the summer wave of 09, they kind of had an idea that Bionicle had to end soon, so they were just trying to end it whatever way they could. And honestly, with that in mind, I don't really like. I still kind of like the ending. I don't think it's that bad. I think the ending being the giant robot fight with Makuta and Matanui is still pretty cool. Yeah. I think there's something to be said about that. I don't think I'm the person to say something about that, but yeah, I definitely think that wasn't. I mean, maybe it was just the execution that was weird, because I mean, it, you know, God was always supposed to be a robot. That was always going to be the twist. But yeah, but by the end, I mean, you know, I don't know. I think after all of the, yeah, I feel like after all of the events in the story with, you know, Makuta trying to usurp God, and, you know, Matanui endangering all of the people inside of him because of his negligence and overconfidence, I don't necessarily think that the ending being create, you know, live prosperously in a world without gods, I don't think that was necessarily a bad way to go. honestly, I think it would have been a lot cooler if, because you can tell in the fourth movie, and considering how bad the fourth movie's reputation is now, I don't think a lot of people give this element of it enough credit. But I think the fourth movie does a really good job at, teasing some stuff and getting you interested in the plot details that they could go into later down the line. But then they just didn't get to do that. Like, I think it would have added a lot to get to find out even more about the great beings, and apparently apparently they were going to make a fifth and sixth movie, like it was going to be like a whole new trilogy, and they were going to encounter like one of the great beings, I'm pretty sure, in one of those two movies, and I think that would have been really cool. Oh, here's the foot. This is the foot. I didn't realize it was a foot. Yeah, I definitely think Bionicle was something that very easily flew under the radar of parents like that, because like, oh, it's Lego, it's a Lego thing. There's no way there could be any kind of like gratuitous violence or like messed up plot points or anything like that in this. It's Lego. That would have been awful. Yeah, that would have been awful. And I'm really glad they didn't do that. Because I love Takua so much as a main character. And honestly, I think Mask of Light... Takua... I think Mask of Light is a lot cooler because of the fact that they, I sound like an elitist saying this a little bit, but like they didn't try to dumb it down for anybody, They included a bunch of terms and a bunch of plot points and like names of Rahi and stuff that someone watching it for the first time wouldn't necessarily know, but Bionicle was always a like multimedia story, so all of those things enrich the world even more. I remember watching the extras for Mask of Light a lot because I had it on DVD when I was little, and I always thought it was super funny that Takua and Jala originally had their voice actors, like they were originally switched to what they would have been, but the voice actor that was going to do Jala came in with his hair all messed up, looking super irresponsible. And then they were just like, nope, you're Takua now. You are Takua in real life, so you're voicing Takua now. No, I love the voices in Mask of Light. Like, maybe it's nostalgia talking, but I can't really think of I know some people think Jala's voice is kind of annoying, but I can't really think of any. Oh, okay. I mean, the way that the way that Matoran is handled as like a spoken language was always kind of weird, because you'll have lines from characters saying, "This is Matoran, like blank is Matoran for this, blank is Matoran for that," like, and then they'll be saying that in universe, and I never really. That's just one of those things that I never really thought about too hard, because it's for the sake of the audience. Oh yeah, that's for the shoulder armor. The song is reminding me. I remember getting the I remember getting Bionicle the game on PS2 when I was younger, and I remember being really like mad and like disappointed because it just did not follow the actual story like at all. It just took as many liberties as it wanted to for the sake of fitting 3 years worth of story into one low budget licensed PS2 game. There's one arm done. that is how that interaction would go. See, that's also why I was disappointed that we didn't get to see more of the post like main plot conclusion story, because I felt like it would have been super interesting to see that, like, to see that interaction between, like, Agori and Matoran, and, like, Glatorian and Toa, because they both lived very long lives, but their lives were very different. The arm's done. awesome. This build has been super fun. What song is playing right now? Oh, this is the music from that canceled game, yeah. I'll let it rock. The way that this tells you to put it together, it makes it look like without his mask on, Tahu has like one of those little like sun visor hats on. Put that disgusting creature in my chat. You know what? I remember when the 90 Years of Play set got revealed, and we found out that that little Tahu thing was in it. I contemplated getting it for a little bit. I didn't, but I thought about it. Tahu's mask is a print too. I remember some really talented, like 3D animator, like recreating like the original Tahu Mata promotional video, but with that little creature Tahu. And it's very funny. You know, one thing I will give this set one legitimate complaint that I have with it. I wish they could have somehow made the sword look a little more faithful. It's not really long enough, and the colors aren't really, like the color of the hilt isn't really accurate, but, you know, it's not a big deal. I have not seen that documentary. I've seen another Making of Bionicle documentary that goes over the first 3 years, I think. And I thought that one was very interesting. It goes pretty deeply into the like pre-production of the theme. There we go. Tahu's done. Look at this guy. Yeah, actually, the hip swivel, the like waist articulation is what gets me. I think that's super cool. Let's get him on the stand so he can do the pose. Get him to do the canister pose. And then I will call this build a success. we go. This GW, oh man, this thing is so cool. Well, no Takua's mask. The use of the brick system means that these masks do pop off. Takua's mask pops off a little easily, but you know, it's not G2 levels of the mask accidentally falling off, so it's fine. I've definitely seen that, yeah. There's the gang. There they are. With their little extra item over here. Oh man, this rocks. This makes me so happy. I'm so glad I was able to get this. I've seen tweets from the designer who made this GWP possible, and I've seen all of the ideas and iterations they went through, and just it blows me away the level of love that was put into this. I think the way that the masks look is the most impressive part to me, because they went out of their way to style it with a bunch of Monog inspiration. They very easily could have just printed the mask piece onto a brick and called it a day, but they went the extra mile. This is super worth it. It only makes me the only upsetting part is that it's too late for me to recommend it to anybody, and for that to mean anything now. I don't think you can get it anymore. I think that I'm pretty sure the time limit is already done. But I'm really glad I got my hands on it. I know I'm gonna look at this every day and crack a smile. That build took 1 hour and 30 minutes. Well, it's looking about dinner time. I'm hungry. But, thank you guys for joining me for this. You especially, Nepacross. I enjoyed talking with you about Bionicle plot. Because there's a lot to talk about. Make sure you have a good rest of your night. Bye. Oh wait, hold on. Let's see if there's somebody.
Hello there.
No, okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right. Night.